Daytona Beach is famous in the world of motorsports, starting out as one of the first major locations for setting land speed records. Over the course of time, speed transferred to the paved banking of Daytona International Speedway, but just 15 miles west of the speedway, drivers continued the tradition of speed on the dirt. And we can continue that tradition here tonight at Volusia Speedway for one of the first major events, a double points event here, 100 laps for the feature here at Volusia Speedway for the VDRA Late Model Series. My name is Finn here with Kyle. Kyle, had you last week at USA and now here with the big dogs, this big event here at Volusia. Glad to have you back in the booth with me for this.
Yeah, I'm excited, and it was my first time doing a dirt race in quite some time last week out, so to have that experience under the belt's great. The Sunshine Showdown here at Volusia, this is going to be so much fun. You alluded to how close Daytona is, and of course the racing there started on the sand and the asphalt. Tonight it's neither, it's on the clay, and with that 100-lap feature, there's a little extra on the line tonight. Really excited to see what those big fields got in store for us.
Absolutely. Practice just about wrapping up. These drivers just finally getting in the last chances they get to practice here before we head on to qualifying. And then, of course, for the heat races. And we actually might be sending a couple drivers home tonight, looking at 26 drivers on the roster. We had 24 for our first few races. So there's going to probably, I think, if I'm correct, should be a consolation race and drivers having to race their way in. Taking a look at the current conditions on the racetrack here. And still looking at it in Celsius, not in Fahrenheit, but I can tell for the most part that it should be fairly cool conditions here as we head into the late afternoon.
Yeah, that is 72 degrees Fahrenheit. And at this point, it's actually turning into a meme for the good old boys on the dirt getting to get the temperature in Celsius. But yeah, you know, the wind, just a little bit of a breeze out of the southeast there. But it's going to be a good night for racing, and I think, you know, the one thing about this racetrack in comparison where we were last week at USA International in Lakeland, Florida, this racetrack is stout. It's short and wide, a much different layout than we had last time out where you got those long straightaways where you're kind of arcing into the corners. You get a little bit more room to play around here as far as the track width is concerned. So we might see some more multi-groove earlier on, but as the track slicks up, we'll watch that lane move around, especially when the race is longer like we have tonight with that 100-lap feature.
Yeah, we saw exactly how much it transitioned when we were at USA, a huge transition in the track. And with this especially being a much wider surface, I think linear, there wasn't a lot of racing surface. Most drivers stuck to one line, but at Volusia here, I think with such a big racing surface, you're going to see a lot of drivers move ever so close to the wall as the night continues. But of course, the main thing now, as practice finishes, qualifying up and away, and it's going to go by quickly here.
Yeah, quick qualifying here is going to look at the number 27 of Travis Beckner. Now, we talked about the point standings coming into this event. We're only 2 rounds into a pretty deep schedule. We have a lot of races on the calendar running all the way into October where we finish out at the dirt track at Charlotte. But Travis Beckner off to a very strong start. He's got a pole at one of the events so far in both top 10s, but he's 21 points behind Tyler Gary coming in. He gained 6 spots in the standings after last week's event in Lakeland. So we know the Dirt Track King can get it done, and already doing very, very well in the season.
Doing very well for him, and at the moment currently sitting 6th on the board. As the drivers start to put down their first times, Zabao up on top, Brent Mukari in second as Beckner comes across the line, only going to be good enough for a third. And we talk about Brent Mukari here as he finishes up his qualifying effort. You can see him in VR, and I got to say that's VR very helpful for dirt racing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just giving you the opportunity to look out to your right and to your left and see what's coming and what's going. A lot easier than on a single monitor where you're definitely constrained in your view. And should also note Ed Robertson and Jordan Navarro, they're making their way around the racetrack. I got my eyes also on Tyler Gary, the points leader that I mentioned, has won both features so far.
Oh my God, he's got a nice looking car.
That. He sure does. And, you know, that's a race-winning paint scheme if I've ever seen one. And he's won both features so far. So why not this one?
Well, you know, we always talk about, you know, drivers are superstitious. Well, imagine if it was the paint scheme that brought him to victory lane.
Well, he's
You're
only,
have to bring it back.
P6 right now, so he might have to turn back. Now, he hasn't won a pole yet so far. Clayton Johnson won one. Travis Beckner the other so far. So he hasn't yet put it on the front row, but he's been at the pointy end by the end of the feature races so far this season.
And Dalton Kane in the number 7 machine. I don't recall exactly where he finished in our last outing at USA. I remember at one point he was up near the front. We saw a lot of comers and goers in that race. A couple of drivers sticking near the front. Beckner and Gary were one of those main fixtures, but a couple of drivers near the back shuffled and went. Dalton Kane, I definitely remember him doing well in qualifying and in the heats, though.
Yeah, P6 start in the feature and P3 finish, so up inside the top 5 there. It didn't go so well for him in the season opener at Lanier. That was only a 17th place result. Mason Kane in the number 31, P6 right now, but only 23rd in the championship standings, and that is because he's had a pretty abysmal showing so far. 21st at Lanier, 24th at Lakeland, looking to turn things around tonight with a better starting spot, hopefully, too.
And another driver trying to turn things around, Jim Freiberger. You saw him very quickly in the early part of the feature in the main event. Unfortunately, got crashed out and never really recovered his position. So already looking strong here, 4th position. You should be starting on pole for one of the heats. So solid effort for him. Jordan Martin in the number 17. Another solid effort for him. He had a decent run. I want to believe he had a decent run up to the end at USA.
Yeah, Jordan Martin, P4 in the championship standings, actually tied for 3rd. It was a top 10, a 7th there, a 5th at Lanier. So a strong start to his season. And then you documented, of course, Freiberger, 2nd place at that season opening round, and then 17th last week out. So looking to rebound and make things look more like that first round. But it's still so early in the season, and so many things can happen. You can get yourself caught up in a wreck. And the track changes so much. You have to be on top of those changes to make your way to the front. And we saw track position matter quite a bit. Towards the end of the race, it was really hard to make a pass. So I'd like to start up front and stay there best I can.
Side fighting, working his way, one of the last few drivers that will qualify. Ooh, hit the wall. Not sure if that lap time will count. It will not. So fortunately, if it was good, it's not going to count back in 22nd for him. But of course, we are going to have some heat races. We've got 27 entries on the list, so a solid effort, solid showing here. And, you know, we saw quite a few. We saw some fantastic racing at USA despite a fairly decently sized field. We went green for quite a few of the opening laps, a couple of cautions here and there, but the racing was hard. It was extremely quick and intense for the opening round.
Yeah,
or second round, I should
say. 19 drivers within a 1/10 of a second, or 2/10 of a second, rather. So it's really tight at the front as far as the lap times are concerned. Just 0.08 of a second between second and third on the timing board. So very, very tight quarters here in qualifying. I'm sure we'll see the same in the heats there. And as you mentioned, a couple drivers going home tonight. So add that to the list of complexities here for this big event here, the Sunshine Showdown here at Volusia.
And waiting for qualifying to finish here in just a moment's time. Clayton Johnson will be taking, well, he's qualified first. Won't be necessarily on pole. We'll have to see how the heats will play out. And this is going to be big, of course. In the last few heats, we've had everyone transfer on, so there wasn't that really much pressure to perform. But for this race, we're going to have to expect these drivers to do well. The top 4 in each heat will be moving on. Everyone else will be pushed over to the last chance qualifier event.
Yeah, you want to be in the top 4 to be in those transfer spots there, so at least 3 in this first heat will have to move on to that consolation race. In order to move on to the main event. Already noticed that the sun is going down, so there's not going to be a whole lot of sunlight left. The Sunshine Showdown is going to become a twilight tango here pretty shortly.
And as we got the drivers getting on the grid, let's take a chance to take a look at the drivers starting in heat number 1. 7 drivers taking the grid. Clayton Johnson will be starting on pole for heat 1. Next to Brent Punkari in the number 35 machine, a solid showing for him. Tyler Gary but back in 3rd place in the number 26. Then it's Dalton Kane in the 7 car in 4th. Ryan Swan in 5th in the number 20 machine. Christian DeBauer, in 6th place in the 56. And Ed Robertson, 64, rounding out our field of 7.
Yeah, it should be a fun heat here, and these go by so quick. Only 8 laps at 15 seconds a lap. I mean, they're going to go by real quick. I mean, the 100-lap feature isn't going to be that much longer than we're used to running. Pretty fresh racetrack. You'll note all the loose dirt. You see the tire marks going through it. Freshly prepared surface here. It'll look pretty slicked up like a surface of a mirror by the end of the night, I'd imagine. See all the particulates bouncing around there.
You can see all the dirt screen as well, trying to protect it from going flying to people. I remember getting a nice solid chunk of dirt getting thrown at me who had my first dirt race. That was fun.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of that track. We didn't look it up after. It wasn't Paradise Speedway. That's another one. But it was down by Watkins Glen somewhere. I got to find out what track that was. I'll Google that in the background. But we're getting set to go racing here pretty shortly.
Yep, getting set, getting ready to go here. 7 cars here, 4 moving on, the rest getting pushed to a last chance qualifier. We'll see how it's going to change how they race, the dynamic in these heats as we go green. Clayton Johnson leading them down, 3 wide immediately. Tyler Gary to the inside, wasting no time in turn 1.
Yeah, and again, he's been on top at the end of the feature, so why wouldn't he be getting going here in the heats, get himself a better starting spot to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to get up underneath Kane in the number 7, and alongside into turn 1.
And fight back here also big as well as those two fight for second place, the fight for the transfer spot. Ryan Swan currently occupying that spot, but still side by side between these two.
Yeah, and you never stop turning here. You've always got the car pointed. This is effectively a circle with cars this big that make this much power. Dalton Kane on the outside trying to make this multi-groove racetrack work, and we're already seeing much more even playing field on the bottom to the top, unlike Lakeland last week. Little contact there.
Taking a look off of Ryan Swan's nose. He's getting a fantastic view of that. You see Tyler Gary throw to the inside. Now they switch. Dalton Kane going to be moving now to the inside, heading into turn 4. You can see that curve back straight to what you're talking about. Essentially always turning and effectively almost always on the throttle as you see Kane make a little bit of contact with the 26.
Yeah, it's getting aggressive here. Tyler Gary's moved up middle of the road. That seems to be where there's some speed, and even Ryan Swan in behind in 4th place has found a little grip up there. So no one really right up against the inside concrete wall like we saw at the drop of the green. And now falling into line. Clayton Johnson, though, he has just lit the afterburners. He's gone.
He's gone. He's set off and away. No one's really catching him at the moment. He's in his own zip code. Meanwhile, Ryan Swan just trying to keep it tucked up to the 7. Doesn't need to pass. Just needs to sit in that spot for the next 2 laps. Can Ed Robertson muster it up anything in the 64 and behind to try to catch back up?
It'll probably have to be a pretty big send unless Ryan Swan gets held up by this 7 and 26 battle. He's not that far back, is he? But as they roll around, white flag is in the air, and we should be expecting them coming back to the checkers this time.
Yep, 1 more lap to go, and it's finishing up quickly. Tyler Gary leading them in 2nd place. Clayton Johnson all the way ahead, not even in the camera shot. He will take the win in heat number 1, and it'll be Gary, Kane, and Swan moving on. Robertson, Punkari, and Bauer all pushed back to the last chance qualifier. That was an unfortunate race for Ben Punkari. He just did not do well, unfortunately. And you see him there. He's going to have to sit and get ready up for... You can see the frustration in his face, too. Started in 3rd place, I think, 2nd or 3rd place, and got pushed back, I think, 4 spots.
Wow, what was that, 2.5 minutes?
Yeah, these go by.
How fast it goes.
They go by really quickly, these things, and we're already lined up for heat number 2.
I love dirt racing. No faffing around. You just get right to it. That's great. You know how much time I spent sitting on grids in iRacing? Just waiting to go.
Too many times.
Warm up, 10 minutes. Like, do we really need that? How many heats can you fit in 10 minutes here? Probably 7.
Well, let's go through our second list of 7 drivers taking to the track in heat number 2. Mason Kane going to be starting on pole for this heat. Next to him, Travis Beckner, big name in 27 in 2nd place. Mason Kane having a bit of a slow run here. I'm not sure he's got an issue or an EOL or what's going on here, but Jacob Bell starting behind in 3rd as they go as slow as humanly possible through turns 1 and 2. Next to him, Jordan Navarro in the 96 starting in 4th. Connor Hughes rolling off 5th in the number 5 machine. Chris Seidenfein, 99 car, going to be rolling off in 6th place. And Joseph Swan will be rounding out our field of 7 in 7th place.
31 has not begun rolling yet.
Yeah, that's not a good place to...
Just came over the radio and said that the car just shut off. So.
Oh. Well, get the ATV out there and give it a bump start.
Yeah, and drivers are trying to help him get a thing restarted.
I don't think you can. I don't think it's got, because it doesn't have an onboard starter, right?
Right. So.
Oh, well, our pole sitter, he's going to be having to sit in the pits for this one, it seems.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Oh, Jacob Bell moving up 1 row. It's going to be helpful for him. Here we go. Pace truck's going to be in. We're rolling off. Here we go. Heat number 2 underway. Jacob Bell leading them down. A promotion from 3rd to 1st, and will immediately take the lead. Travis Beckner trying to get up to speed on the outside.
Yeah, that was big news for the 77, moving up a whole row. Mason Kane is now out on the racetrack after starting from the pits, and he will be on the lead lap. He's just got to have a lot of work to do, needs to hope for a quick yellow. And here comes Travis Beckner to the inside of Jacob Bell in the 77.
Jacob Bell on the outside, Beckner on the inside, both of them fighting for that lead. Beckner going to throw it hard into the inside, but you can see Bell trying to get the momentum going on the outside. Can't quite get it. It's not the definitive move we saw at USA, as Beckner gets really loose on the bottom and has to yield a second.
Yeah, the grip just wasn't there for the 27 for a moment and almost walked away on him. Jordan Navarro in the transfer spot for the moment. Pretty safe there, half a second back to Seidenfeiten. And there's Mason Kane. Frustrating start that he might end up in the consolation here if he can't very quickly find some positions.
That is a lot of work to do. He has to pass 3 cars in just about 4 laps. Might be able to pass 1, maybe 2, but might be a tall order. We'll see the 31. I mean, he's going to have to hope for a caution or a wreck or something to happen here. 96 closing up on Connor Hughes in 5th place, who's separated out from the leaders as both of them have kind of checked out ahead of the rest of the field. But then it's Navarro, then Seidenfeiten, who's trying to catch up and see if he can transfer on.
For the lead, here comes Beckner to the inside of Bell. He almost had the spot. He's going to go way down against the concrete wall there. Pulls even with them and doesn't have the run to complete the pass.
Not on this time, but I think he has a chance to build up one more move. 2 laps to go. Beckner trailing in behind Jacob Bell in the 77. Really taking advantage of the situation with Mason Kane being put back, having to start from the pit. Can he hold off Beckner for one more lap?
Yeah, looking pretty good here for the 77. Promoted to pole in the second heat, and it's going to get it done. Jacob Bell out of turn 4 is going to take home the heat victory here with Travis Beckner so close behind. Not quite.
And there's Mason Kane. Ooh, contact there with Joseph Swan. Well, actually get past him with some contact, and Kane moves up one more spot. Unfortunately, not going to be enough to move on.
Yeah, and that was a big hit there for a couple of drivers there at the end, but they'll both have to move on to the consolation here. And already moving on to the 3rd heat of the night. And Ryan Zabot on pole for this one.
Yeah, taking a look at his car. Man, I really wish this wall was just a little bit lower from where I put this camera.
We need to paint it black like Indy does so you can see through the fence.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm amazed they went to the trouble of painting it white. I feel like most places just leave the bare metal. But it definitely does look good, got to say. It just look very clean around this track. So you take a look, as you mentioned, Zabot is going to be starting on pole position in the number 10 machine. Overhaul is going to be starting next to him in the 119 machine in 2nd place. Carter Coop rolling next to, on the inside in row number 2 in 3rd. JJ Crow, I believe this is a new driver. I haven't seen him, starting in the 21 in 4th. Daryl Bass, number 90 in 5th place, will be rolling off there. Next to Casey Laconis in 6th in the 13. And Casey Borgmeyer, 101, rolling off in 7th.
Yeah, Crow did start at Lanier, started 12th, finished 8th in the feature there, so he just missed out last week at Lakeland. And to answer the question of what track do we go to near Watkins Glen, it's Outlaw Speedway, 10th mile oval.
I guess that's very fitting we met Kurt Busch there.
Yeah, Kurt Busch was there that night. I don't remember a lot else other than there was not a lot of diversity in the crowd, but that was no, I mean, it's great. It was a fun time. It was notable. But
that's the one thing
anyway.
you know, not even who won the race.
No, I mean, I'm just anyway. Doubled up, heat number 3. Getting started here from Volusia. Time to go.
Ryan Zabot leading him off. Overall next to him. Actually, this could be a drag race heading up to turn 1 for the lead. Overall trying to keep the momentum going. Might be able to snag the lead away from the 10. Carries the momentum around the outside. He will do it for now, but the 10's not giving up.
No, I think that outside lane's got a little bit more grip right on the edge of that cushion than just below it. You got to send it in, and not enough momentum at the start of the race to keep that flowing on the bottom. Carter Coop in 3rd place. 4th place transfer spots a battle here, though. It's Crow and Daryl Bass in the number 90 to the inside.
Bass looking the inside. Carter Coop slow on the outside, though. The 21's kind of almost being held up at the moment. The 90 see him throw it to the inside in turn 1. Trying to carry the momentum. Will just get ahead of the 21 for now, but not quite.
Really dicey here on corner exit. Watch the 90 drift up. That's what I was worried about. A little contact there, maybe. And puts the 21 way into the loose stuff, but he's going to lose those spots. JJ Crow out of a transfer spot now for the time being.
for the time being. That's the key part. He could still try to get it back, but he's got to definitely get starting to hustle already halfway through this run. Overall, looks like he's breaking away from Zabo. He's actually gonna have to start looking in his mirror here. It looks like Carter Coop's starting to get closer and closer for second place.
Yeah, 90 of Daryl Bass is making a lot of progress on the bottom right now. He's right up against the white wall. Maybe he was watching what Beckner was doing in the earlier heat. Slide jobs the 52, has the spot now to the top.
And Carter Coop tries to catch back. Ooh, makes some contact on the left rear of the 90. He goes to the bottom, loses some speed. Here comes a 21. He's got to watch out because now he's on the bubble.
That was the dirt racing equivalent of the middle finger out the window. He just went back and drove in there hard to try to repeat the favor. Couldn't get there, so knocks Carter Coop down to the bubble. J.J. Crow tries to close in, but Overholt, Zabo, Bass, Coop, currently your drivers into the show at the moment.
Let's see, anything could change. All it takes is one small mistake. We did see cautions in the heats last week at USA. Will we see another one here? You can see the 21 catching up to Carter Coop. Carter's trying to stick to the outside a little bit to keep the momentum going. That was a checkered flag. I thought we saw one more lap to go. Overall, it takes the win with Zabo, Bass, Coop moving on.
That was an action-filled heat there for the transfer spot. Carter Coop still in, but only by half a second. And now our last heat of the evening before our consolation race that only one driver will advance to. We've got 6 drivers on the grid here for this heat, 4 of them advancing. And if any, I'm sure you'll run us down here in a moment. But Jaden Freiberger, this is the big one here. Front-running driver in the championship standings. Didn't have a great run last time out at Lakeland, but certainly a very strong start at Lanier. So trying to repeat that here. Needs to get a heat victory to start closer to the front, though.
Yeah, just to start getting things rolling in the right direction, and like you mentioned, making up for what happened at USA to get his season going in the right direction. Starting on pole, we'll see what he can do. Next to him, Jordan Martin lined up in the 17 car in second place. Brad Slaughter, another driver, also trying to perform a little bit better, starting in the 8 car in third place. Austin Davis in the 19, he's rolling off in fourth. Bryce Senezak in 09 rolling off in fifth, with the 97 of Jacob York rounding out our field of 6 here in this final heat.
Already we're noticing the track much lighter color, about 3/4 of the width across. It's getting worn in a little bit, and every time every lap we make, we're going to push that line closer and closer to the fence. And by the time we're maybe 20 laps into the feature, everyone, I assume, will be way up at the top. We'll slick that off and then move back to the bottom, like we saw at Lakeland a couple of weeks ago. And that was that was a track with a lot less lane options than this place. So.
Always good to see, especially with Volusia, the way it's shaped. We talked about it before, that curve back straightaway. Take a look off the nose of Freiberger. Essentially, always turning. Always love those unique kind of tracks, the unique features that make it stand out, and this is definitely one of them. I was doing some hot laps to get the cameras set up, and I got to say, this is a really fun place to lap around. Just kind of, if you can get it right, you can put your foot down and just kind of hang on to this thing all the way around. As these guys are about to get going with the foot to the floor, there they go. Freiberger leading them off. Green flag for the final heat of the night as Freiberger leads them down. Martin to the middle, trying to defend from the 19 as Brad Slaughter stuck on the bottom. Yeah,
he's going to try to get up, I would think, ahead of Jacob York so that he doesn't get the nose up on the outside. You don't want to lose this. This is a transfer spot here where that 8 Bud car is, and he's going to jam himself up to the outside groove. York up in on the quarter panel.
We'll defend it for now. We'll see what York can do. Meanwhile, up ahead, Jordan Martin trying to stay ahead of the 19, who's all over his back bumper. And try now actually go to the outside. Martin trying to defend on that inside, but the inside not quite there. It seems to be getting worse and worse as it slicks up.
Yeah, you just have to come in with a lot more momentum than the guy on the outside, so they've got to be backed up a little bit. But he's holding even for the time being. Now that 19's getting a nice drive on exit, so is the 8 of Brad Slaughter. But he's got to keep the 97 behind him. He actually knows the head, York does, on entry.
But he got held up by the 17 who messed up the corner. That checked him up as Jordan Martin's fighting for that second place spot, but it looks like he might end up losing that out to the 19 of Davis, who will get that spot. Brad Slaughter still in the transfer spot. York, I don't know if he can catch back up. He's going to have to try to. He's got effectively one more shot.
Yeah, running out of time here. These laps are so quick. And you see, again, even by the 4th heat, look at where we're running. About 70% of the track width up to the outside. So that bottom lane option has gone away a little But Freiberger out front by half a second. Things are looking good for a heat victory there. Davis, Martin, Slaughter currently in. York, Senesac currently out.
And the top four all flying close in formation. Senesac kind of too far back to really make a move. York really the only one with a shot, but can he catch up to Brad Slaughter? Here we go. White flag in the air. One more lap to go.
Yeah, Freiberger does a perfect heat. Nice start. Got clear quickly. Things are still tight here for second place.
Jordan Martin trying to make a dive to the inside of Davis as Freiberger comes out of turn 4, will take the win. And looks like Martin's just a little bit too short. A couple thousand short of Davis, who will take second. Martin third. Slaughter on fourth will move on. York and Senesac out to the last chance qualifier.
That was a really strong finish there by Jordan Martin. I didn't think he'd get that close, but night has fallen, and well, it was the Twilight Tango. Now it's the nighttime square dance. I don't know.
Square dance. We're in Florida.
Yeah, we square dance in upstate New York. What are you talking about? Gym class in Rochester.
Oh, I forgot you mentioned that, actually.
You didn't do that in Long Island?
Actually, no. We did do that in elementary school, now that I think about it. I don't know why.
Those watching in chat, square dancing in not high school, certainly. Middle school and elementary school, they make you do that too? What skill was that teaching us?
I don't know.
What was it prepping us for?
No clue. But these guys are about to tango tonight, at least, because, like you mentioned, is there only going to be one driver moving on, or is there going to be more?
No, sorry. It's corrected now. It's going to be 8 moving on to the feature.
Okay, that's what I figured. 'Cause I figured it wasn't one moving on. I figured it was going to be a couple. Usually that changes last second. So 8 of the 10 moving on. So effectively it's a run for, I'm actually going to have to use the full ticker here. God, there we go. One driver at the end there, Borgmeyer in 11. So three drivers will be losing out. We'll quickly go through. I mean, you can see on the left-hand side, Robertson, Seidenfeld, Crow, York, Punkari, your top 5. Then Kane, Licata, Senesac, DeBauer, Swan, and Borgmeyer, the rest of your field. So there's going to be, it's on the line here. People are going to be going home. This is your chance to make it into the main show. Again, 100 laps for the feature and double points. So for the drivers in for the season-long championship, this will be a big race to miss out on.
Yeah, certainly for the championship contenders, this is a big one tonight. And only 3 drivers are going to miss it. Somebody's going to be sad and disappointed at the end of this.
3 will be sad and disappointed. We'll see who they will be. As Ed Robertson's going to be leading them down to green here. 10 laps instead of 8. A little bit longer in distance. We'll see how much action we're going to face here with 11 late models on the track. Pace truck off, and away they go. Consolation race is underway. A great start for Ed Robertson. Seidenfeld trying to get going, but actually holds up the outside lane just a little bit. The 21 of Crow taking advantage. He moves up to second. And 3 wide in the background. Ben Punkari to the inside. Yeah,
this is getting wild. They were 3 wide. York was in the middle. Mason Kane's watching all this off the nose. He's got to be careful not to get held up because it's going to be a hornet's nest for the transfer spot here. 9th place to Boer in the 56. It's that black and red car. There's so many positions he would love to have right now just up the road.
Yeah, all these drivers back here fighting for that spot. You can see the number 10, sorry, the number 101 of Borgmeyer just ahead in 9th. Licata now in that last spot.
That's that 13, the green and white car on the bottom. And it's still going to be a pretty volatile space. 35, Punkari's in the fence out of 4. Lost a whole bunch of spots to the back of the pack.
Oh, no, and this is massive. There he is in the background catching out. That could be it for him. And again, one of those drivers we were talking about in that season-long fight.
Yeah, there's damage on that car, too. That car has got a broken suspension. At least the left front is broken. While battles continue elsewhere, the 35 is out.
Fortunate end for his run. Taking a look at Bryce Senesac. He's the bubble. He's on the transfer. You can see there's a 56 DeBauer trying to throw it to the inside. Make that pass.
09, Senesac trying to keep the hopes alive there. At 56, trying to make up 1 spot. All he needs. This is when I would start maybe moving up to the upper groove. I don't know the bottom's going to do it, but here he comes. Big run. Senesac slow.
Yeah, Senesac's been held up by Borgmeyer, who's kind of occupying that outside lane. You see DeBauer really struggling out of turn 2, and that allowed Senesac to get back around. And here comes Joseph Swan in behind as well, trying to catch back up into this fight. He's not out of it yet.
No, I mean, he's close to being out of it, but not quite, especially if these two tangle here.
All it takes is one mistake. We saw it with Pinkari. He's effectively out of it. Casey Borgmeyer just ahead in 7th place, up for the lead. Not much to really talk about other than Ed Robertson and Crow breaking away by a decent gap ahead of the rest of the field. Here they come out of turn 4. They take the white flag.
And car in the wall, the one of Joseph Swan. Oh, he's in the attenuator, nose on into the pit entry, and that's race over. He's out.
And here we go for the last couple of spots. Battle with Senizak and Borgmeyer as Ed Robertson races out of turn 4, takes a checkered flag. Bryce Senizak will be the final one moving on. And unfortunately, DeBoer Swan and Brent Pinkari are going to be retired out of it. And you can see Brent Pinkari there. What started off as such a strong event for him, unfortunately, going to end early.
Yeah, that was a frustrating way to go out. So track is going to be closed off to competitors here in this warm-up period, a couple of minutes. Again, I think the big news here is how much the drivers at the tail were fighting there. And honestly, Senizak had to work for that. It was not going to be easy for him to move on. But job well done, keeps his hopes alive and moves on into the feature. Now this 100-lap feature at 15 seconds a lap is going to go by really quickly if we don't have a lot of yellows.
It is going to go by really quickly. Similar lap time to what we saw at Lanier, and that was a very quick race. That race finished pretty much as soon as it started. I think the entire event was only an hour. Of course, again, double the amount of laps tonight, 100 laps. And we saw how worn out the raceway got at USA, the surface. And that was only 50 laps. You can imagine how much 100 laps is going to completely change the surface. I think everywhere is going to be packed down. It's basically going to be horrible all across the board. And drivers effectively fighting for just a couple inches of decent running space.
Yeah, and a bigger field and more heats tonight, too. So it's definitely worn the track out a little more. But, you know, I say that more in a different way. Remember, Lakeland is such a narrow racetrack in comparison that they were, only really utilizing 2 grooves. We actually documented that they had made 2 cushions, one on the bottom lane and then one up on the top. This racetrack seems to be a lot more linear across not linear, across across the surface, right? It's so much wider that you've got more space to spread. So instead of slicking off one lane at a time, I think we're going to see more creativity at the start, which should actually slow the process of wearing out any individual groove.
I was trying to see if I can get a look at the track down below, but unfortunately no driver is on the racetrack, so I cannot take a look at it.
Yeah, they closed it off for this. Everyone's getting a drink, getting set to go racing here shortly.
But what's interesting, actually, as we look at it from above, if you notice, there's a big difference in the line between turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You can notice a lot more loose gravel up on the top of turns 1 and 2. Turns 3 and 4, a much tighter line. And, of course, this track's not completely symmetrical. It was built way before CAD design. I don't even know if they really use CAD for dirt tracks, honestly. I feel like they kind of just wing it.
That feels like an extra step.
It's like, that seems about all right. But the track is not symmetrical, so it drives differently on from turns 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
No, there are no laptops at this facility. I had to guess. You know what's crazy is Watkins Glen, when we went there for Grid Life, we went up to their timing room. They did not have a single computer in the entire building.
Really?
Yeah.
And when was this?
This is Watkins Glen. This was 2023. No computers. Not one.
Not even a laptop?
No. It was like, here's the cable that runs to the timing loop, and you must provide all. I mean, normally you bring your own timing laptop anyway.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah.
There wasn't even like a security guard like browsing Netflix computer up there. It blew my mind. So no CAD for the dirt tracks, I bet. Yeah, this is definitely grab a shovel and a dump truck.
Get the sheep's foot out there.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, no, isn't the sheep's foot that they used to right? Yeah, that's what it's called, right? Yeah, that's to like loosen up like the soil. I actually kind of wish that iRacing had that. I feel like they don't have anything because isn't it usually between some of the runs they'll go and kind of loosen up the surface and put some water on it or whatnot?
Yeah, that is a configuration thing, I think. I did see the surface change between sessions. Just I didn't know how much, and I did see the sheep's foot pattern when we first loaded in. So they definitely simulate it. But all part of iRacing's ongoing commitment to. Why am I selling iRacing? We don't need to sell it to anybody. We don't need to sell it. Everyone here loves it. Yeah, everyone loves it.
Just don't look at how much everything costs.
Or dude, I mean, it's you know, it's cheaper
Well,
than
don't look at
track
it. Don't look at it all at once.
time. No, I mean, don't compare it to Forza. Grid Life had a garage sale last weekend. I bought an Xbox.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You
Just 'cause
never. Which one did you get? The Series X, Series S? Were you don't even know?
No.
One of them.
One of the newer ones, I think.
Did you get an Xbox Switch? Nintendo PlayStation.
Yeah. PlayStation 8 is what it's called. So I'm just a little ahead of everybody. No, it was cool. I've never had a console, and I'm gonna play some Forza on my 65-inch flat screen, baby.
Oh, brag about it.
It's still in my trunk, so that's how motivated I was. And I bought it on Saturday, so that's how motivated I am to set it up.
Couldn't be bothered on the weekend.
Busy boy, man.
Gotta say, this is a really nice looking track.
Yeah, it was actually, wasn't like the second dirt track iRacing made too. This is a pretty early.
Yeah, I think besides because I think USA and Linear were part of the initial release for it, and I think Volusia was one of the first, part of like the first, dedicated dirt tracks. I forgot what the other one was. I want to say Eldora.
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. If you can't tell, we're not the biggest dirt racers. Not that we don't like it, we're just not good at it.
We're not good at anything, actually.
No, don't say that. I mean, you're definitely much better at road racing stuff. I mean,
I was fishing for the compliment, but thanks for completing it. All right, down to the racetrack. It's time to go racing tonight. 100 laps. If this goes green from flag to flag, 25 minutes worth of racing. Probably get a yellow or two along the way. It's going to get busy out there. Small racetrack, half a mile, 24 cars, and all fighting for the same lane probably by lap 10.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely some intense battling here. 24 cars lined up on the grid, getting ready to go.
Jason Beckner says Volusia's totally up to date when it comes to electronics and computers.
It's either better than Watkins Glen.
It deserves an FAA grade 2 at least.
See what come down here.
I think we need some runoff area.
Nah, it's fine.
They just got it on the.
You can run the runoff at the swamp. I think that's enough runoff,
man.
but taking a look here. We're not going to go through the whole order, but taking a look at some of the top runners. Clayton Johnson, the 225, will be starting on pole for the main event here with Jacob Bell starting in second. Jacob Bell, it'll be interesting to see what he can do. He really benefited from Mason Kane having issues, and going to be starting up in second place. Overholt going to be rolling off in the 119 in third. Jaden Freiberger in the 24 in fourth, and Tyler Gary fifth place. Very stacked first three rows here.
Yep, and we're going to have a couple extra pace laps here to get us set up for a couple four-wide photo shoot, likely. But we'll keep running down the order.
Ryan, I love this.
Ryan
This is
Zabot,
awesome.
7th place. Austin Davis, 8th. Dalton Kane, 9th. Connor Hughes, 10th. Darrell Bass, Jordan Martin, Ryan Swan, Jordan Navarro, the next couple of rows. Look at this. 4 wide. I thought there were 5, but...
4 wide salute.
Fontana that they did one time. Yeah.
All we need is the fireworks going on. That would be awesome.
That would be cool. But, man, look at that sight.
Area lineup. And also very props off for everyone to coordinate to getting this done. This is hard to coordinate 25 people to do the same exact thing.
Yeah, this is a lot of coordination here. But we have a couple more laps before we're turning them loose. And Clayton Johnson on pole alongside Jacob Bell. Remember Jacob Bell getting promoted up a row?
Yeah.
And look at where he's starting, outside front row. Great luck tonight, and sometimes you'd rather be lucky than good.
See how he can benefit from it. I forgot where he ended up placing at USA. I kind of remember him being somewhat towards the front near the end. Was quieter in the early going. It's kind of open. You can pull that up for me.
Sorry, what? I got distracted.
I was thinking for Jacob Bell where he finished at USA. I don't quite remember what it was. I remember coming back towards the end.
I'm not a stats guy anymore. 8th place.
There we go.
For those that don't watch SimTV all that much, usually I'm running the show and McPhinney go get me stats. So it's
rollover.
I'm a bad Larry Mac. Yeah, P8 at Lake Linda, then 12th at Lanier. So looking for his first top 5 of the season.
All right, well, looks like I think we're lined up ready to go here, working their way through 3 and 4. And not this time.
Should be 1 lap to green this time by.
There we go. Wish there was a better indication for that.
Yeah, I wish the lights came on properly when he extended the yellow. It does that oddly at road courses, but not on the ovals if you extend. Under pace conditions, I should say.
But here they go. Now they're getting tied up, lined up, ready to go. 24 cars lined up here for the VDRA Late Model Series. It's round number 3, the first major event, the first Crown Jewel event. Double points, double the distance, 100 laps on the board. So he's going to take this one home. Clayton Johnson off and away. We're green here at Volusia.
Oh, 3 wide already. I thought for 3rd place. Now they are 3 wide in the opening corner. They are wasting no time. And, whoa, big slide for the 7 up the racetrack, hard into the wall.
Dalton Kane
Huge
flipping,
crash.
flying down the back straightaway. Caution's going to be out immediately.
Wow. That was
Or
ugly.
not.
No
caution.
yellow. We're still green. But it's jammed up 4 cars on the inside. And they're getting stuck a couple laps down now. Huge crash.
Yeah, they're still stuck down there, and I think the 10, I'm not sure the 101 EV stalled, but he's slow on the bottom. No caution. We remain green still.
Wow.
Clayton Johnson leading him down. Jacob Bell relegated back to 4th place, fighting with Oval and Freiberger.
Yeah, unlucky for those that were caught up in that. Casey Borgmeyer, Jordan Navarro, Jacob York. But all the while, Clayton Johnson leads for 2nd place. Battle is on. Overholt and Freiberger there. Remember that 24, strong run at Lanier. There's the yellow flag.
There we go. I'm not sure that was thrown by the admins or not, if we had another spin.
Nope, that was a manual yellow.
I think you're probably all surprised there that the caution did not fly on its own accord.
Yeah, I think the frustration was those that got stopped could have gotten rolling again, but they had no place to go. But the 7, we saw him kind of walking up the hill, and right here, it just goes right, like he had a hardware.
Oh, that was a hard hit there. And, the
fence.
96 of Navarro flying right into him. And then everyone else getting stuck on the bottom, and, well, these things are incredibly hard to turn at low speed.
Yep. Not a lot of maneuverability.
I'm not sure what happened here. Oh, he's having some lagging issues. Oh, almost looks like a disconnect. But
Yeah.
okay, because the way the car went straight right on board here and see the steering wheel can tell us anything.
Well, yeah. It just snapped. Or you can see it snapping around there.
Whoa.
Whoa!
Barrel.
GoPro's new magnetic mount just floats in the car so it can hang on.
Take a look from what the 96 of Navarro saw.
Yeah, this is gonna hurt. Bam.
Oh, man.
Nothing you could do.
And only half a lap done, and he's going to join Dalton Kane in the list of retirees already.
Yeah, Dalton Kane already has left, so he's already got the flight home, unfortunately. So a lot of discussion going on around the conditions under which that yellow flew, because it was a couple laps late. But again, I think it was way out of the way on the inside, and I think there was a lot of frustration maybe with the 7 for not resetting. But again, I mean, just a tough scenario for everybody there. And who knows if his reset button even works? His steering clearly didn't work there for a moment.
Yeah, no, that was really odd the way that worked out, but field doubled up, ready to go. It looks like, and for the drivers that are caught a lap down, they will not be getting their lap back, so they're going to have to fight that out the hard way.
Yeah, notice also that our lap counter has been ticking up too, so keep an eye on that. We're on lap 7 now of 100.
You're right about that. We'll keep an eye on that. Green flag back in the air. Johnson away. Overhaul in second. Fiber will try to take it on the bottom in the 24. As they're all tightened up and ready to go. The 10 is about. Also trying to make a move. I see a wreck in the background. Casey Lacatis, I think, involved.
And J.J. Crow's in it, and a few others. And caution is out.
Caution out once again. Austin Davis, I think he's slow on the bottom. That's him there in the 19 in the wall. We'll take a look and see what caused this incident out of turn 2.
So we're going to watch this 19.
Whoop. Ooh, it's
just kind of walked up
5.
the hill. Yeah.
Ooh, Jordan Martin did a fantastic job avoiding that.
Oh, the 21. J.J. Crow got the worst of that, and a black flag to boot for the crash damage.
Taking a look at another angle here. I wonder if Tyler Gary got into him. I'm not sure if there was contact or maybe neck code. Didn't really get that good of a view from that. So let's look up from up above.
Yeah, oh, was there a little contact there? Yeah, and then that kind of sends around, like hooked the side panel there.
Yeah, the 21 at JJ Crow, like you mentioned, ended up getting the worst in that. I got him.
Man, big hits.
You're riding on board with Crow now. See up ahead. And you kind of just hope it spins down the track. Oh, it's so hard to turn right.
No, I mean, nowhere to go, really, right?
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, if you were going to avoid that, you would have had to have known it was going to happen 5 seconds before it did.
It looks like JJ Crow stuck on the bottom. But yeah, the laps continue to count up, and if you're wondering why I was surprised at that, normally I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be caution laps do not count.
Yeah, I think the other thing is there might be a configuration problem as far as the laps counting and the cautions being manual only also.
Oh. Oh yeah, if you don't enable cautions, yeah.
So, double back up here. There's a lot of conversation happening in the background. We'll try to keep you up to date with what we can. And sounds like they're going to potentially make some changes here. But in the meantime, we're going to keep rolling.
I was going to say, saw Jacob Bell pulling off the track. Jacob Bell, one of the head admins in area, and looks like, are we going to be resetting the server? Because I see Clayton Johnson slowing off the pace.
Yeah, it will be a new lobby, it sounds like. There's a lot of chatter happening off screen as well, but we'll keep covering. As off into turn one, battle for the lead is on. Zabot and Overholt side by each there.
Side by side for both of them. Tyler Gary in the background trying to catch back up. Ed Robertson in the number 64. Jordan Martin in behind in 5th.
Yeah, looks like drivers are pulling off course here.
Oh,
maybe
as Travis Beckner goes around.
I would say that we'll likely get a reset here shortly, Finian. So maybe we'll call it for now and take a break. We'll be back when things are reset.
It sounds like a good idea. So, like Kyle said, we'll be taking a break here. Server's going to be reset, and we'll get back going. Everyone's going to get a second chance at this, and we'll see how things end up. Ooh, as Tyler Gary goes flying up in the air, but we'll be back here shortly at Volusia. All right, after a slight pause in the action, we are back and ready to go here for Volusia. We're going to restart the event from lap number 1. All 24 drivers back on board on the grid. Everything's sorted out, and we're going to get ready to go. So a slight prelude, just a couple laps under green for these drivers to get underway. And the interesting thing, actually, Kyle, will be that the track surface is going to be completely reset.
Yeah, so there was drivers talking about that. I don't know how much it'll matter because after about 10 laps, we'll probably get it back to where it was after the heats here. So it's just going to make things a little bit more unpredictable in the early stages of this race. But I do think that we'll see it kind of even out. By the middle point of this race, we'll not even be talking about track state as far as where it started. We're going to talk about where it's going. So it's just things change so quick with a field this big, 24 cars here tonight. So just all that to consider here. Field doubled up, and running order should be the same as it was. And Senesac at the tail, Clayton Johnson out front. He was off to a pretty early lead at the start of the last attempt, so we'll get things moving. Now, the reason why we're restarting is just caution laps were counting, and that was a configuration issue, along with manual yellows being enabled versus automatic ones. So with that all corrected, we'll be ready to go in just a moment's time.
Yep, ready to go. Everyone lined up and ready to get racing. Again, Clayton Johnson leading them down. Jacob Bell, OD overall. Jaden Freiberg, Kyler Gary, your top 5. Then Beckner, Zabot, Davis, Kane, Hughes, your top 10. All lined up, ready to go once more. It's going to be 100 laps on the board. Double the points for these drivers. And we'll see who's going to be walking out here with a victory and a small cash prize, $25 on the line as well. Here we go, Johnson away. Green flag once more at Volusia.
Yeah, wasted no time, Clayton Johnson. 3 wide, the 24. Freiberger immediately to third place, taking advantage. Jacob Bell way up the racetrack in turn 2, getting swallowed alive here as the rest of the field 4 wide for a moment into 3.
They are always seeing anytime Jacob Bell being shuffled back. Travis Beckner, you see sliding in front of the 77, will take ahead of him. Lee Johnson leading lap number 1, but tight quarters, battle in the midfield, contact in the midfield.
Yeah, 77 going backwards. Jacob Bell going the wrong direction here early. As, whoa, the 21 was way high. J.J. Crow clings onto it, trying to get everybody, straight forward out. But there's grip everywhere right now, so the track is very wide.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of these drivers start in near the bottom, near the middle of the racetrack, and they're going to slowly gravitate towards the top as the race goes on. The number 19 up all the way on the top line, really testing out the waters early on.
For the lead, Freiberger's caught Clayton Johnson. It's close quarters here, and put pressure on the 225 already.
Putting pressure on him, trying to see if he can make a move, make a run here, looking to the inside. You see how close they're getting to that inside wall as well. Really bottom feeding.
Yeah, that'll change quickly, though, as we run a lot of cars down there in the bottom lane. Already 5 laps in. And it's just the way the track's going to wear will probably be different than it was in the heats, because it's just every car everywhere instead of kind of everyone running a similar line like we saw in the heats.
Field's starting to spread out. A much calmer start than what we saw initially, getting a solid run going, no major incidents. Couple drivers being banged here and there. Look at the middle, 3 wide. Brad Slaughter in the middle of the sandwich. Got Ryan Swan on the inside, the 19 at Davis, who gets checked to the outside.
Yeah, got pushed a little bit wide there. Just not enough racing room for all 3 of those cars to coexist. And I think because the track wasn't worn in, there's just grip in so many places that's why you're seeing everyone kind of keep it straight. When the track's pre-worn, sort of everyone's diving for the same groove. They don't have to do that here this early.
Interesting to see the way the track dynamics have changed, and the drivers trying to take advantage of it, use the grip wherever it is, and they're all trying to search for it. At the moment, a couple drivers moving up some spots, but look at our leaders. The top 3 have completely checked out from everyone else. Johnson, Freiberg, and Zabot.
Yeah, they have, and the action is still centered around Brad Slaughter Jr., J.J. Crow, Travis Beckner in the 27. Now, Travis in that 27 car started 6th. He's dropped a couple of spots, so going the wrong direction for a driver that knows his way around this place.
Feeling Austin Davis, Jordan Martin, Kyler Gary back in 9th. After winning both the opening rounds, he's got a little bit of work to do to catch back up. There's quite a few laps left to go, but they're taking off pretty quickly at the moment as we remain green.
Yeah, Gary in that 26 won both features of the season so far. We documented that in practice and qualifying. Would like to keep the momentum rolling. Not realistic to win everything on the season, but he has some work to do.
Interesting how he's running a very calm line on the bottom. He's not really kicking out the back end to rotate. Of course, you'd want to kind of keep it a little bit more tighter to that inside. And I'm almost, this is not the fastest way around the track, and I'm almost wondering, does he have damage that we missed? Something, because that car looks pristine.
I don't see anything. And he's just running very conservatively, not a lot of slip angle in it. And you're right, just kind of hanging out for the time being. Maybe he knows something we don't about.
He definitely knows something we don't, if anything.
Well, he knows lots that we don't, probably, if I had to guess. But as far as what we're going to see over the course of the evening and how this track and car are going to transition, maybe slow and steady wins the race here.
Could definitely be. Looking at a battle brewing here, the number 19 of Davis under fire. Jordan Martin trying to work to the inside. Navarro in the 96 who got another lease on life. We saw him get taken out early on in the first attempt of this event. But now having a solid run here just inside the top 10.
Yeah, he was really one of the beneficiaries of this reset here. And it was actually sort of lucky that we had that big crash to discover that we had caution laps that weren't counting and yellows. We could have gotten through. If we didn't have a yellow, we would have never known that. So he got lucky that we got a reset, because otherwise he would have been in big trouble.
Would have been, and trying to taking advantage of the situation here. Going to work past 17, and you mentioned for the lead, starting to go down here. They're catching lap traffic.
Yeah, it's busy lap traffic.
And Fiber taking advantage of it. He's going to work around the outside and take the lead away.
Yeah, that's
a huge amount of traffic. This is a traffic jam.
Yeah, the 10's up here as well. Ryan Zabot has caught this lead group as well, the red and the white car. So it is very busy. It's like my drive home from work today in Chicago.
And we saw a couple lap cars here and there at USA, but this is completely something else. A huge amount of cars. You can see right ahead in the bottom of the screen as they're panning, the camera pans around. Got a massive amount of cars ahead of them. So this is going to take a while. And of course, you're trying to pass them and also keep her spot defended. Whoa, contact with Seidenfeld. He gets put hard to the wall.
Big crash for Seidenfeld, big damage. He's going to keep rolling. We're going to stay green, but he's got major damage to that suspension, and he'll have to. And it's not going to turn.
Nope, he tries to pull off the track, and I don't think that will count as caution. We remain green. Upland will.
No. Yeah.
First caution of the event.
Yeah, he was trying to get off track there, but I guess that is considered on course. So when he came to a stop, it triggered the yellow.
The best you can. That thing was not turning left, but take a look and see what happened here.
Contact from Beckner in the 27.
Beckner sent him high offline. All right here. And then caught Jacob Bell there and went into that outside part of the wall. Almost flipped over. You could see the right wheel leave the car. And on 3 wheels there, that's not going to work out.
No, he made it another straightaway. And then it just, right there, you see the tire. And that would be safe zone normally, but iRacing logic.
It's going to slow the pace of the field one more time here. And you can see the caution lap's not counting, so everything's good. Everything's set up properly for this one.
So Jaden Freiberger in that 24, really nice, strong start. And things are looking good. The 225 lost the lead there in that traffic exchange, but this will sort of give everyone an opportunity also to recirculate around the racetrack. So if you're wondering about your timing and scoring, Finney, mine's going nuts too. So.
Yeah, no, mine's going nuts as well. No, Jacob Bell is slowing off the pace. Not sure if there's a cause for that or not. Or he just went a lap down, I think, under that exchange.
Yes, same with the 13 of Casey Lakatos.
I was going to say, I was just surprised that there were cars lapped down. I thought something was off. I was like, hey, no, they did get legitimately lapped. And it was kind of amazing to just see how quickly the field got spread out there. And there wasn't really, we saw in the initial start, when there was that wreck, there wasn't a caution. Everyone got really spread out. But on this run, after, 10 laps, leaders were already lapping people.
Yeah. I mean, I think the other thing to consider is that with the track so wide and so stubby, for lack of a better term, their distance measurement between the outside and the inside of the track is wild. So half a mile maybe at the center line, a lot less than that on the inside. Here we go.
Here we go. Green flag in the air once more. Again here at Volusia. Freiberg leading them off and away into turn 1. Clayton Johnson, the 225, all over the back bumper of him. Now they have no lap traffic. They got clean air to work with. The battle's back on once more, and it also battle back on for third.
Yeah, there's lots of battles all over the place. The 7 of Dalton Kane, remember, he was the car that took that big hit in the first attempt at this race. He's inside the top 5, battling with the 90 of Daryl Bass for 4th place.
Gonna throw away to the inside. A lot of these drivers moving more and more up the track. Gonna slide just in front of the 90. Cause some contact. Slide in front. Bully 1, maybe 2 spots out of the way. And Kane up to 3rd. Ooh, a hip check to the 10. Zabo around into the wall hard. Major damage.
Yeah, that'll be it for the 10 as far as competitiveness tonight. Right front completely destroyed. And these cars will take one hit to the outside and they'll call it.
It looks like he was able to escape the track without bringing out the caution. No, he's not. He's parked it up there, and caution will fly.
It's caution out for the 2nd time tonight.
Take a look and see what happened there between the two. We kind of saw that, a bit of a hip check for position. There he is.
He's already in the wall at this point. There's the hip check from the 90.
That's contact with the 7, and then here is the main one here. 90 was flying up the track.
Yeah. And a little body hip check from the 8 as Slaughter Jr. was going by. I think kind of finished off the trajectory here. There's that little slip up from the 90, and then bam, right there, pings him to the outside wall.
Yeah, and again, the grip on the inside is already fairly gone. You mentioned that the track was going to change fairly quickly as we got 24 of these cars flying around here. That inside grip going to go, and I think just wasn't there. Car slid up, and unfortunately he was between the 90 and the wall.
So 25 laps complete. This race is a quarter over. And the battle never really resumed between the front two. Freiberger got a nice launch on the restart. I love having control in that 24, getting that nice good launch off the bottom. Let's good look at Travis Beckner in the 27.
There's Tyler Gary.
Tyler Gary in the number 26. Back in 13th place. A lot of work to do after starting up in 5th.
Yeah, this is a view of Travis Beckner here back in 17. So a lot of big runners. I mean, these guys are running out the front of the field last week, and they're mired way back in traffic here for this race. And we're already a quarter way through, so they got their work cut out for them because there's a lot of competitive cars between themselves and the lead.
We've seen track position matter quite a bit here the last couple of weeks, especially back at Lakeland. Time to restart here. 1 to green. Lights are off on the pace truck. Almost called it a safety car. I would have gotten my head cut off for that.
You're too European for this.
Yeah, no. Celsius and safety car. We can only so much tolerance for the redcoats out here, probably. Anyway, here we go.
Here we go. Green flag back in the air. Freiberger leading him down once more. Johnson, can he mount anything, any sort of charge on this start here? Will Daryl Bass try to mount a move? Dalton Kane, big move to the inside, almost takes out the 90, but he's going to slide just in front of Brad Slaughter. He's had a great run up to 5th.
Yeah, that 8 car is moving forward in a very nice way. Started in 16th, so up to P5 now for that 8 Budweiser car. Things are looking good. Look how single lane it is now on the restart, trending our way up the racetrack. 3 wide in the background. The 17 was in the middle of it, Jordan Martin, but they've singled out now, at least gotten double wide.
Yeah, so Tyler Gary and Travis Beckner bottom feeding.
And lead change, 225 slider on the 24, gets it done, but here comes Freiberger back on the inside and retakes the lead.
Going to make one more move in the middle of 3 and 4. Throws it to the inside once more. Will not slide up in the middle of the corner. Might try to slide up here on the entry into turn 1. Might get it here. Slides up, breaks the momentum from Freiberger, and will take the lead. 24 goes back to the inside.
Yeah, looking really good there. Clayton Johnson back to the front. Got past only with the traffic intervention on that first run, and then just was unable to do much with it on the previous restart. Here comes Daryl Bass in the 90 up to put some pressure on the 24.
Trying to make him make a mistake, potentially make him look at his mirror, but he's focused on the leader up ahead as they're flying in formation here. The top 4 break away from the rest of the pack. 24 again, another move, looks to the inside here in turn 1. Whoa! Flies up in front of the 225.
Yeah, big slider from the 24. And Johnson again back to the bottom. This is a great battle here, but it's going to stack him up with Daryl Bass from 11th on the grid up to 3rd. Dalton Kane back there as well. 4 drivers involved in this fight now.
Look out the rear of Clayton Johnson. And as we take a look off the nose of Dalton Kane here, you can see him going way down the low to the inside, trying to get something going. Meanwhile, Daryl Bass riding in the tire tracks of the 24 and 225.
So 96, big slip up Jordan Navarro for 9th place alongside Ryan Swan, Philip York in the 97. This is a little bit of a scrap here.
Solid scraps for position all over the track, and this is one of the main ones here. Navarro trying to get ahead of the 20 of Ryan Swan. Battle for 8th place between these two. You got to try to bully that spot. Some damage to the 20 as he continues to work on the outside. He's not going to get bullied out of that spot.
Yeah, once, twice, thrice, kind of banged the left front corner in on the 20, but good thing that isn't an important part of this race car.
No.
Venture to say none of the bodywork is. Oh boy, contact. Payback maybe given there.
Well, broke his momentum up, and that could be used to make a move in the inside of 3 here. You see York, he's gone from the bottom to the top trying to make something happen here, but held up by the 96. Swan goes up, but into the wall, breaks his momentum. Navarro goes ahead of him. He breaks momentum. 4 wide for a second. There goes Swan through the middle.
Yeah, these guys are going to be in a fist fight post-race. There's lots of body laying and hip checks and, rib jabs going on.
That caused a massive checkup in behind them.
Yeah, and how far back are the leaders? Probably not that far from this, only a few seconds perhaps. While these guys all battle, here comes Travis Beckner into the mix as well, the 27. They're still jammed up behind Swan.
Just taking a look there, still got about half a lap for the leaders to get there. Tyler Gary in the middle, he's going to get to the middle. There we go, contact 3 wide, almost 4 wide, still contact entering turn 1.
Yeah, full contact sport back here, left, right, center. Tyler Gary got all the body panels punched in there. Navarro in behind Beckner and has let Swan get away. Those two were laying punches on each other.
Oh, Gary sliding up almost into Travis Beckner. Avoids contact for now, still in the middle lane.
Watch Navarro, he's got a lot of rotation. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, I was going to say someone's getting turned there. A big stack up there in the middle of the back straightaway. Mason Kane almost went around, but it was Tyler Gary that went sideways, saves it. Oh, Jacob Bell into Gary for a second there, but saves it.
Yeah, Bell's a lap down as well. But real frantic couple of laps. All the while, they've given up another few seconds to the race leader, Clayton Johnson, who's got a half-second advantage over Freiberger. You see it there. And then Daryl Bass. I want to say Bass for some reason.
Brad Slaughter. Brad Slaughter sideways there. Just saw him out of turn 2. Not sure what happened there. I think might have had a contact with the number 5 machine here. And that's number 5, Connor Hughes. On the entry here right there.
Yeah, too close. They just got kind of crossed up. Nice save.
Nice save there. We'll continue going back. And Jacob York's got around him. Jordan Martin also took advantage of the situation and is ahead of Connor Hughes. But Hughes wants that spot back. Looks to the inside.
Big lunge from the 5, but didn't have a momentum to clear the 17. So he's back to riding. And now it's Beckner and Swan just behind this battle. There it is. And the 101 of Casey Borgmeyer, who started near the tail of the field. Into the shot in the green car. Sure. Carter Coop say Carlos, so he must have had some contact with somebody.
Yeah, I was going to say there's still this absolute pandemonium going on back here. He's to the inside. I'm assuming he's probably saying that to the 96 of Navarro, who's probably trying to just stop the bleeding because he's fallen back now. Is one of the last few cars on the lead lap in 16th at the moment.
Yeah, been a frustrating night for him. That first race, first attempt at it, got involved in a wreck. Now just dropping to the tail, sort of unceremoniously. The leaders have all moved up way up to the top of the racetrack, at least in turns 1 and 2. 3 and 4, they're sort of running a more traditional lane. But Johnson sees some lap traffic on his horizon, and this is when things are going to start to get interesting. That's Zabot in the 10.
Yeah, riding on board with Johnson. You can see that inside lane you were talking about, how much it's padded down again with all the running and how worn out it is already just approach halfway through this event. So he's working quickly and catching up to the leaders, and that's going to give another opportunity for Freiberger and Daryl Bass to try to have an attempt at the leader, because it's going to take a lot to work around this traffic here.
Yeah, they're a little bit more spread out than they were a couple laps ago, so I think you'll take the wins where you can. We're approaching halfway, too. And Johnson, the long-run pace in this 225 seems to be a little bit better than Freiberger, who was stout on the restarts. There's York and Beckner. This is for 7th.
Here's Beckner trying to climb back up through the order. Whoa, going to slide up ahead of York. And we'll get the spot done. Had to do it maybe a slightly harder way. Maybe I might have something coming back to him later on. We'll see. But Brad Slaughter now eyeing up another move.
Yeah, York voiced his did I say yoink? York voiced his displeasure to Beckner. There was an apology given, but dirt racing, man, sometimes you got to pull those moves. Wow!
Tyler Gary making moves. Gets 2 for 1 in turns 3 and 4. I was going to say he's going to have to start making some movement forward. Well, he's kind of kicked it up to a couple of gear, or found another gear, and he's moving forward.
And he'll get better the longer this goes on. It seems like he's really got the experience as the track starts to slick up. You know, he knows where to put the car to find grip. He just took 2 positions there and is quickly approaching more. So as worried as we were before, maybe those greener track conditions weren't really suited for Gary's skill set.
I think he was waiting for everyone to get spread out maybe a little bit more and then pick them off one by one. Well, he's starting to make some moves. Here he goes to the inside of Brad Slaughter now. Battle for 9th place.
Yeah, right up underneath. As I said to Greg Kramer last night in the MX-5 race, right up underneath the tail, like puppies at a dog park, just checking each other out.
That is very accurate for this type of racing.
I said it was the first time and probably the last time I'd ever used that on a park. But
Gary up 1 spot, up to 9th place. Next driver in his sights is going to be 97 of York, just up the road. Other close battles, Jordan Martin trying to catch up, and actually, I say catch up, he's already passing the number 7 of Dalton Kane that moves him up to 4th place.
Yeah, battles, really the front 3 have completely separated themselves. You're looking at the lead battle, though. Freiberger's been a little quicker, about a 1/10.5 faster than Johnson last time by. So that gap is coming down, and they've actually dropped Bass off the tail a little bit. He's half a second back from Freiberger.
Yeah, but all of them 2.5 seconds ahead of Dalton Kane, who's the next closest car. See another exchange for position. It went sideways down the back straightaways. Is Ryan Swan. That was a nose off the nose of Austin Davis. Not sure what happened there. I saw a preview of this. This is going to be entertaining to look at here. This is working through turns 1 and 2. And then off the turn, not sure the 20 got sideways or they just met. And then right there, just pushed him sideways.
Yeah, just a little hip check there, a little how you doing, as TJ Clark would call it.
You know, this is a contact sport, but you might have to draw the line somewhere.
Yeah. Overholt had a big send on Jacob York just now. That was a big lunge. And here's that battle off into turn 1.
Gonna try to make it work, make it stick. The 97 trying to fight back on that inside, but that outside lane now is so dominant now that the groove's moved up all the way to the racetrack.
Laps clicking away, lap 60 of 100, only about 11 minutes to go, and we've spread the field out enough. I don't think yellows are incredibly likely. Look at Tyler Gary. You just had the camera on him there. The progress he has made up to 8th place and climbing. And Beckner, yeah.
He's got around J.J. Crowe silently, and his next driver in his sights is Dalton Kane, just up ahead of him in 5th place. We've had a really long green flag run as well.
Yeah, just trying to even see like when I don't have my graphics open to tell me the last time we went green, but it was probably 15 minutes ago. But now Beckner closing in on, and this seems to be like what we see, you know, even at Lakeland, the drivers with more experience as the night goes on, they get a little better. Slider on the 7, and Kane denies it.
Will deny him the move, but Beckner is all over him for the lead.
Change. Almost lead change. Freiberger's caught Johnson in traffic again, and if he can navigate traffic better, he might have this lead.
I don't even need the traffic to work with here. I almost thought he was going to make a move to the inside of turn 1 there, is looking at, but he is all over the back bumper of him and ready to pounce should the opportunity arise.
Yeah, you have to kind of read the traffic, figure out where the slower traffic's going to be, what lane will be open. The comfortable place right now is on the outside, which is where Johnson's going to run, but Freiberger's on the inside trying to complete this slide job.
There goes Freiberger to the inside. Can he make it stick out of turn 2? Not quite. It's either run on the back straightaway that Johnson has. Going to continue on the outside as I think 24 is going to be held up by the lap car of Connor Hughes and the number 5 to the inside. Still they go 3 wide actually around the lap car.
Yeah, tough. He had to take the middle line on the entry to the turn 3 there, or turn 2 rather, and when he did that, there's just no grip in the center of the track where he's running. So he gains a little bit on entry, but can't throttle up. Now he finds some dirt side by side.
And actually, I think Freiberger going to use the lap car of Swan as a pick for a second, but couldn't get it done. Johnson, great move around the lap car and keeps the spot.
2:25. Clayton Johnson has led a bunch of laps tonight. It was starting to fade here. Now he's going to move to the middle. I'd be worried about doing that. But needs to do something because the 19 is in the way, Austin Davis.
And around the 19 they will go. Freiberger still there and alongside here in turn 1.
It's pretty well executed there by Johnson actually to make that pass when he did. Look, he's going to get a much better drive off onto the back straightaway and clear that 24.
So the outside, Freiberg to the inside once more. Just needs a little bit, and actually will get it there. Johnson was held up in the corner, couldn't get the drive off, and he took it there, but not for long. Here comes Johnson back on the outside. Yeah,
the outside lane in turn 2 is pretty good. 3 and 4, I think that bottom is a much better place to be. Using the cushion, though, Clayton Johnson trying to keep that wheel speed up, but he cannot.
And it looks like that inside, if you can hook it all the way against the wall, that can be a place to work and make it work. Freiberg was able to do it, takes the lead here with under 30 laps to go.
Oh, quarter panel dragging the Armco there for Johnson. I think he's fading. All the while, looks like there's some drama around 7th place. Overholt, JJ Crow, I thought. Yeah, the 21, that was a pretty tight fight.
Battle for position between them. Overall, Crow fighting for that spot. Tyler Gary's gone around him. We haven't been able to really keep up with 26 to 27. They've been quietly moving up the order.
Man, impressive. Caution out, Austin Davis in the 19.
Now, and the pace will be slowed down after I think we had, I want to say, almost a 50-lap green flag run there.
Oh, something broke, I think.
On his car or on your side?
Oh, tell me.
Yeah, that's interesting there. Not sure. Take a look in right on board with him. See if something broke in the middle of the corner or if it was maybe a hardware malfunction. Turn 4 here. Let's see. Huh. Interesting.
I'm not sure what to make of that, to be honest.
Something went wrong. Not exactly sure what it was, but it's going to slow the pace down once more and reset the field. And, well, if they weren't potential threats before, Beckner and Gary are now back up with the leaders.
Exactly what they wanted to see. You wouldn't know it, but he's excited. You can't tell by looking at his face, but he is stoked.
I mentioned before, he had a big smile on his face before I cut to him.
Yeah, I mean, again, just closes up that gap. And again, the experience that these guys have on the slicked up racetracks definitely benefits Beckner and Gary. We didn't write them off, but we knew that they needed to start making progress. And without the yellow, I'm not sure that they would have had enough to run the leaders down. But
no,
now,
I think they both would have established themselves in the top 5, but now they can definitely do more with that. Because they were looking to be, I mean, I wasn't exactly checking the lap times, but they're definitely looking to be one of the quickest cars on the track. And, well, now they get a chance to prove it here. They can make up those spots.
Little neck crack there for Tyler Gary. That should be the scariest thing that could possibly see.
It's game time. I mean, definitely is game time here. We're approaching 25 laps to go. Getting down to the wire here. If we go green all the way to the end, it's going to finish in under 10 minutes. And, well, it's definitely possible here. With 21 cars still running, of which only 12 on the lead lap. That's how many got put a lap down. There we go. Freiberg jumping and off and away out of turn 4. 3 wide immediately as we go green back here at Volusia.
Yeah, Beckner's trying to get a bunch of them in one go, and he did. Beckner to 3rd. Gary gets caught up in the melee behind him, gets stacked up as the 27, trying to be as aggressive as possible, is now in the middle. He's looking for 2nd place. What a restart.
I mean, he needed to make a big move with the way they were stacked up, and he definitely did. Up to 2nd place, was able to do it. Some beating, some banging, and he's now going to fight for the lead.
Yeah, Gary got kind of trapped up by that, but for the top spot into turn 3 now. On the bottom of the racetrack, side by side, Travis Beckner in the Hendry County car to the front.
And he will get it done. Can he hold on to the position? Is going to be really the next question. He's got a quick car, and now he's got that clean air to work with. Can he drive away? Meanwhile, Overhaul now trying to make a charge here for the lead. I haven't seen him compete up here for a little while this race. Jordan Martin as well in 4th.
This is an important reset for those that kind of got trapped.
Gary.
Wow, he needs to make big moves, though, because he's got to dispatch this traffic. I think he's as good as Beckner, but needs to get past these other 3 cars. Good progress here.
And out of the inside of Freiberg, he's gotten shuffled out back to 5th. And same thing with Johnson. He's back all the way in 7th.
Yeah, again, this is going to just upend the field, kind of tip the, what do they call those sand timer things?
Hourglass?
Hourglass?
Yes.
Upside down. Sand timer. always joked with DJ Clark at SRO about I couldn't remember the word for thesaurus and used the word synonym book. And he gives me crap about that too this day.
You're not wrong.
It's a synonym.
It is a synonym. As Gary moves up to third place, he's got a chance now to fight past the 19, potentially challenge Travis Beckner, but it's still not done back here. You can see drivers making charges on that inside lane. We saw a lot of drivers ignore that for the most part last run, but now that they're all bunched back up together, they are diving for it. Oh, yeah, and the 101 of Borgmeyer getting bullied out of the way.
Yeah, anywhere you can find grip, you're searching for it now. The track's pretty worn out in the center, and that's just because top or bottom, you have to go over the center of the track to get to the other lanes, so it just tends to use up that middle.
Take a look at
But
Johnson.
There's still some loose dirt out there.
It's out there, but I feel like almost too far out of line at this point. Not a lot of drivers going for it unless they're really got some cleaner to work for, because these drivers also got to fight defensively as well as offensively through some of these turns. But Clayton Johnson now trying to go back on the offense after losing the lead and second place back in sixth. As up ahead, Beckner, he's got to defend not one but two cars because they've caught back up. Overall, big dive to the inside.
Yeah, look who's here. That 26, Tyler Gary's won all the features so far this season. 19 goes to the lead, and Gary sizing up a pass for both.
Beckner trying to see if he can keep the defensive going in the middle of the racetrack. Overall, up near the wall. Gary going to get the move done on the inside of turn 4 and to the inside of turn 1, trying to take away second place and fight for the lead.
Yeah, that 26 is coming and coming quick. Running out of laps, though. Going to be 15 to go, not this time, but next time. And Travis Beckner's been great on offense, but how is he on defense now?
We'll see. So far, so good. He's able to hold out the pressure
Trouble.
for the moment.
Casey Borgmeyer. Sideways.
Sideways on the front straight. That's going to bring a halt to the battle at the moment as the dust settles.
Contact with the 31. Ooh. You see it here. Bam.
I think it was on the front straight. I think went back a little bit too far here, but coming back on the front straightaway right there. Looks like he went low. Whoa, Mason almost popped a wheelie there trying to get around him. Oh, look there. Whew. Mostly minimum damage. It seems to be to the 101, so get going.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to crash into something, you'd rather it be another car that'll give. Any of these walls, just the concrete, will just eat your car alive. So, better. I mean, there is some damage, but not significant. All right, restart. This will be really important.
I mean, we saw how important it was with Travis Beckner. I mean, you can see the battle scars from that car, how battered and bruised it is, but he muscled it to the lead. And Tyler Gary also, I thought he would have been a little bit more out of it, but he managed to bounce back solidly and get himself back up to second place.
Yeah, he's got to fire off better, though, on this next restart because he's going to get jumped on. Jordan Martin's back there. Odie Overholt's back there. Jaden Freiberger in the 24 will want redemption. Clayton Johnson, 6th place, unacceptable after how long he's been running at the front. So,
I mean, look at that, 57 laps led, and he's mired back in the 6th place.
Yeah, so he won't love that. So it's going to be aggression on the restart, just like we saw with Beckner.
Well, what was that old saying between us two? Aggressive tends to go around.
Yeah.
I mean, for the most part, Beckner was able to hold it off here, but with everyone bundled back up together, I'm sure there's some frustration amongst the drivers and themselves here just before the end of this. Will it boil over? Will we see someone make a desperate move, double points and money on the line? Will someone make maybe too aggressive of a move here? We'll see Beckner slowing it down, gassing it up in the middle of 3 and 4. He's off and away, a clean getaway for the 27. Back green at Volusia with Gary in behind in second place, and a mad dash for 4th place.
Yeah, not a bad restart, though, by Tyler Gary. Didn't allow Overholt to keep overlap along him into turns 1 and 2. So that 26 of Gary's going to throttle up middle of 3 and 4. Hornet's nest back here.
Bit of a hip check from the 24 to Johnson. Here comes Bass on the inside of the number 90 machine trying to make a move for 5th place. Gets held up in the 21 of Crow around to the inside of turn 2. And the caution will fly once more.
Yeah, and Ryan Swan came to a stop also in the pit lane. And was that an intentional decision? It was indeed. So he had some damage from something else too.
Looks like Bryce sent his that contact to the back of the 21 and sent him around. And that inside lane, you have to go so slow to keep it going and keep that wheel pointed in that direction.
Now, watch Ryan Swan also if you can. Do back it up a little bit further and watch the 20 because he also had a pretty big wild ride just about a lap prior to this. So go back up a little bit further. And he got squeezed off of Navarro even further.
Oh, there we go. I was going to say he's already going slow. This is on the restart. Oh, wow. Up on the wall. Yeah. Whoa. Hello. Lightning McQueen. That Jinx the only soda.
Oh, a soda. Oh, all right. $2.50 in this day's economy. Used to get Coke for a quarter.
So that's what happened. That's what happened to Ryan Swan there, in a separate incident.
Got charged $2.50 for a soda. I mean, real talk. $2.50. Come on.
Yeah. And Brad Slaughter down in the pit. Did we see what happened to him? Did something just happen that we missed? See him and York down in the pits.
Swan.
Do they have damage or something?
The 8's. Where is the 8?
No, they both just kind of came down on their own accord, it seems.
Yeah, not sure what's up with that.
Just trying to double check and make sure we didn't miss something that happened after the wreck.
I didn't see anything, but he felt like he needed to come in and.
Yeah, no, a couple bumps and bruises here, but none that come down to the pits, because you really only need to come down to the pits for repairs. You're not changing tires on these things. I'm sure they would love to. Not that it would really help a whole lot, but.
Yeah, and it's going to be laps down at this point, so it's not going to matter a whole lot.
Well, get them restacked and ready to go here.
He's back on the road.
And it's going to be Travis Beckner, Gary again lined up 1-2. See how this restart plays. And off they go and away. Not as great of a start for Beckner this time. And for Gary as well. We'll be side by side with the overall into turn 1.
Yeah, this is not what Gary needed. He needed to get clear of that 19 very quickly. And he should at the exit of 2 here. But he needs to only focus out the front, and he can't with that 19 to the inside.
Yeah, he's still there. He's still a thorn in his side, but I think now out of turn 4, he should be clear. There he will be. The 19 still tries to mount a charge, but it's not going to be good enough. Now Gary can try to focus on Beckner, tries to work to the outside lane. Where's Beckner going to defend?
I don't know. Find where the grip is and just drive a better offense and not worry so much about defense. Tyler Gary is going to figure it out at some point. So put your car where it is best. Or where his is best, ideally.
And in behind, Jordan Martin trying to get around overall here for 3rd place, breaking inside the top 3.
The lead.
And for the lead, Gary's already there. He's managing to hold on the inside. Beckner way out of line. That's going to kill his momentum. Gary to the lead.
Yeah, he's got it now, the 26 to the top. We'll see if Beckner can, out of desperation, pull some overlap again on the inside. 10 laps to go.
And how about that? I thought this 26 was out of it in the first part of it, and he somehow flanked his way back to the lead. Can he hold on for the next 10 laps and make it 3 for 3 this season?
Yeah, you want to talk championship threat, winning the first 3 with dominant performances, not necessarily over the course of the race, but in pace. I mean, from what, 15th?
Yeah.
16th he was earlier in the race, all the way up back up to the lead.
And Beckner's also back there as well, and you can see him concentrated, focused, trying to get up there so close to the back of the 26. And Tyler Gary doing the best he can to defend from a hard charge in behind him.
Beckner's close enough that he might have one more shot to get back by, but he can't wait. I don't know that he can. He's going to try to set him up a little better because it'd have to be a pretty big send at this point, but I think the 26 is just better.
He's better at the moment. Ooh, lap car ahead. That could be a factor there. Connor Hughes. Will he move out of the way for the leaders? Looks like he's going to try to move out of the way, take the high side as they stick to the bottom. Everyone bottom feeding at this point.
Yeah, much better line for Gary through 1 and 2 than Beckner, but Beckner seems to gain right here, center 3 and 4. That was a nice big gain for the 27. 5 laps to go now.
5 laps to go, not too many battles. As I say that, Freiberger's actually trying to hold up Bryce Senezak here, and Borgmeyer also as well. Senezak loose off the corner, and Borgmeyer trying to work up the inside. Ooh, and potential contact here. In the middle of the field, back with the leaders. Beckner still riding in the tire tracks. The 26 as the caution flies.
I didn't
Mason Kane.
Yeah, oh, it was Kane. Oh, this is a big one, too.
Take a look and see what happened to the 31 here.
Just on his own, caught the wall there and just whipped it around.
The wall caught, hooked him, and threw him around.
Yeah, very, very ugly incident there. and with 4 laps to go.
Oh boy. God, man, we hang out too much.
You ever seen, did I ever show you the Instagram clips? DJ Clark and I at SRO, we also have a very similar cadence. And there's a couple of clips from the last few seasons where it was Circuit of the Americas, and we got a random safety car. We didn't know what happened. And at the exact same time, perfectly in sync, we go, oh, safety car. And then something similar to Indy last fall, where there were 4 wide coming out of the last corner, and someone made it 5. We both went 5 wide at the same time. It was great. Just in sync.
And great stuff from these drivers here for the VDRA Late Model Series. It's only round number 3 of 20, if I can count correctly. Many events going all the way to October for this series, and plenty of action still to go. Next week will be an off week, and action will resume on the 19th of March, and that'll be a 50-lap run at Bristol Motor Speedway. I'm going to assume the dirt version of Bristol Motor Speedway for these drivers, so definitely stay tuned to that action. It's going to be interesting to see them handle the banking there.
Yeah, it's always been sort of an interesting track layout with the banking. It's, because you're using less angle, and you're just carrying so much more speed. You got a lot more G in the racetrack, a lot more pressure on the clay. But single file restarts this late in the race, and that means that I actually don't hate this. If I'm Beckner, I like to know when that leader's going to go.
I think it kind of works out. We typically see the second place driver get shafted because it's so hard. As the second place driver in general, it's so hard to read the leader, and then especially in a car like this where you really kind of have to flick it left to get it to rotate. So this could work out here. You just got to time it right here. And Gary's also got to pick a good time to get the jump and get going here. And you see Beckner trying to gas it up. Kind of got him there. We'll see, can he follow on through? Green flag back in the air, almost hitting the pit road attenuator there in turn 4.
Yeah, that was really tight to the wall. Just trying to find any loose dirt. These things are long, they're heavy, they don't have the mobility of the sprint cars. So you can't really get all the way to the edge of the racetrack. But he is close. He is within striking distance here. This will be 2 to go this time.
Yeah, laps winding down. Only 2 laps remain. Gary versus Beckner here for the lead. $25 on the line. Double the points on the line as well for them. Beckner throwing it hard. Going to try to push Gary up the track on his quarter panel. Here we go. White flag in the air. One more time to go at Volusia.
See if Beckner's got anything for Tyler Gary. Down in 1 and 2. He's so close, but it's going to need to be a big send on the other end of the track.
Gonna have to throw it in there. One last attempt. Here we go through turns 3 and 4. Gonna try to throw it in there. Push the 26 up the track. Can he gas it up? He cannot. Tyler Gary, 3rd win of the season. Wraps it up here at Volusia. Beckner in 2nd and Overhaul in 3rd.
3 for 3. Tyler Gary just walking away with these at the end, not in distance, but just in pace. No one is able to really match him. Beckner, given him more laps under green, I don't know that Beckner would have had anything for him, but Beckner's so much better at the restarts that he kept himself in there to the very end. But Tyler Gary, championship favorite, clearly.
And I think he led the least amount of laps of the leaders. We saw Gary, Beckner, Freiberger, and it was also Johnson that took the lead. Gary led 10 laps, Beckner only 13, and I know for a fact that Freiberger and Johnson led more. So it was not the dominant force this race, but definitely a solid force to be reckoned with this season there. And you see him park it in front of the checkered flag stands as we take a look at our finishing lineup here at Volusia. What a fantastic run there. Hard-fought battle at the end for these drivers.
Yeah, certainly Tyler Gary. Beckner gave it everything he had. Used a little of the bumper in the closing stages, just not quite enough. Overholt, Martin, Borgmeyer. How did the 101? Started at the tail of the field up to 5th place there at the end. Disappointing run for Freiberger in the 24. Bryce Senesac last on the grid, the 9th. And Clayton Johnson, that'll be a disappointing finish for the 225.
Yeah, it almost seems like an impossible feat compared to what we saw earlier in this run. We thought that he would be, the driver to beat tonight, but unfortunately just wasn't quite there at the end. Jake York going to finish off this race in 11th place in the 97 machine. Brad Slaughter in 12th place. Jacob Bell, a decent run for him in 13th. Lakatos 14th. Then Robertson, Carter Coop, Jordan Navarro, Connor Hughes, Mason Kane, and Ryan Swan in 20th.
What a battle. That was a fun night. And and we'll talk to our top three there. And I think for Tyler Gary and for Travis Beckner, we didn't count them out, but we weren't really all that excited about where they were running at certain stages of the race. But they just turned up the wick, and it was the experience on the slicked-up racetrack here at Volusia that got them the podium in the top 5 tonight.
All right, well, let's talk. We got our top 3 waiting in the booth, and we'll first talk to our third-place finisher, Odie Overhaul. Odie, that was a fantastic run you had there. Unfortunately, not quite enough necessarily for the leaders, but a solid top 3 finish. Walk us through how your race went.
Yeah, I just tried to kind of maintain tires for as long as possible and just kind of keep aware of track position and make our way back up through there.
Yeah, we saw the track be almost a completely different state to what we had, especially when we were set to go the first time around here. How much of a change was it compared to the reset and then having essentially fresh dirt to work with on the track?
Yeah, honestly, I knew from the setup and the tires that were on it that it was going to be a race at the end and kind of ride the first half. So it would just form into a pretty good race.
All right, well, Odie, it's definitely a solid result for you, especially with double points on the line. Solid top 3 finish for you here in Volusia.
Sir, thank you for streaming.
No problem, and with that, we'll move on to our second place finisher, Travis Beckner. Travis, hard-fought battle between you and Gary. First of all, I gotta say, I kind of consider you kind of out of it midway through the race there. Didn't seem like you were really anywhere near the front, but somehow you managed to find your way to the front. Walk us through how you're able to pull that off.
Yeah, there was a few of us in the Discord call down there. It was me, Tyler, Carter Coop, and Casey Lakatis. I had told him all before this, and Tyler had the same idea. I was like, I'm going to save the crap out of my right rear for the first half of this race, and then I'm going to go after that. And Tyler did the same thing that I did, but he saved it better. And just tried to get him there at the end with going down to 3 and 4, just wasn't able to.
Yeah, and we saw the track change over time. We saw you guys up near the top, down near the bottom, towards the end there. Was the bottom really the only place you could be? Was there any sort of chance you could try to work around the outside or get that to work, or were you kind of forced your way down there to try to make that last move?
Yeah, I think I was forced down there because I was trying the top when I got out ahead of him by half a second, I think it was. And they were catching me when Tyler was running the bottom. I'm like, this is not going to happen to me again like it happened last week at USA. But Tyler still ended up getting underneath me and got me still. So just gotta work on saving my right rear a bit more and more throttle control. So.
All right, well, Travis, solid run for you here. Second place, some money to your name, and also some points for you. Really solid finish in the 27 car.
Yep, thank you. Before I go, I'd like to thank my sponsors, Hendry County Motorsports Parks, Central Mobile Home Sheds, Wilson Race Cars, Tyler Gary, who is one of our local racers at the Hendry County Motorsports Park. So, I mean, he's getting tracked down by his own flagman, so I don't know if that says something. So. Yeah, I've never drove a car before, and I'm tracking him down. So,
well,
he's probably gonna come up here and talk to us back. So I had to talk a little bit myself. So,
it seems smiling in the Zoom calls. I think he's getting ready to say something when he gets on the booth. But solid run for you, Travis. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
All right, with that, going to be talking one more time to our race winner this season, Tyler Gary. And Tyler, I was talking to Travis. Didn't think you were anywhere up for the running there. I mean, we took a look at how many laps you led. You only led 10, and I think those were the last 10 laps of the race. How did you manage to pull it off? I know Travis kind of mentioned the tire saving, but that was extraordinary what you managed to pull it off.
Yeah, I mean, as Travis said, we just get it safe from the very beginning. Just try to not slip everywhere at all. I mean, I was literally driving it like it was Volusia from the 80s and 90s, but it was an asphalt track. Like I wasn't turning to the right, sliding at all or anything like that. And then probably about lap 45 or so, I tried going a little bit. I just kept getting banged around anytime I tried to pass somebody, and then Travis got around me. And if it wasn't for that yellow around lap 70 or 75, I would have not had a shot at all, I probably would have ran 6 because I was so far behind everyone at that point.
Yeah, that was the thing. Was there any particular time you guys had in mind was the go point, especially where were you even anticipating that long of a green flag run? Because that was, I think, around a 50-lap run of green flag racing we had in the middle of there.
I figured we'd get a run at some point. It's 100 laps. We seem to get decent runs every now and then with the 50 lappers, so I figured we'd get a nice long one. I was hoping it would be a little bit shorter, so I can get to the front a little bit sooner with my better tires, but we made it work anyway, so.
All right, Tyler, well, solid job there. Thought that maybe the paint scheme change might curse you there, losing out on the win, but you got win number 3. You're 3 for 3 this season so far. One of the best starts you could have hoped for in a start for a long season championship. But congratulations to win number 3 for you.
Thank you. I think the only race I haven't won was my E-race tonight, so we're off to a pretty solid start. And to Travis's comments, I don't know how you can be chasing me down when you finished second to me 3 times, so.
I love it. Well, let's see if he can muster up anything in the next couple of weeks heading on to Bristol. Tyler, thanks for talking to us.
Thank you, guys.
All right, well, I like it. I always like a little rivalry developing, but some great competition, some great respect. I mean, we could have saw Travis Beckner just easily throw in there, take out the 26, but he fought hard, fought honorably, and that was a fantastic battle at the end there.
Yeah, great stuff between those two, and just hard-fought, clean stuff at the end between them. But, man, this has been so much fun. The heats always blast on by, and then the features as well. They've been a lot of green flag running, which is great to see. So just excited to move on to next week and see what Bristol has in store.
Yeah, Bristol is going to be the next event here. Round number 4 will be following up here, not next week, but in 2 weeks' time on March 19th for these drivers. But this will round up action here from Volusia here for the first crown jewel event of the season. Some fantastic action here tonight and more to come from this series. But my name is Tony Kuna here with Kyle Hire. I'll be signing out from Sim TV for tonight. Thank you for watching.